The Dragon is a large-finned, green-skinned humanoid whose powers include super strength and advanced healing factor. He is also amnesic. His earliest memory is awakening in a burning field in Chicago, Illinois. So get your marshmallows ready and grab a seat at the campfire as we jump back into Savage Dragon, New York's finest. The Dragon is found in a burning field by Lieutenant Frank Darling. At the time, Chicago is being terrorized by villainous super freaks, namely the Vicious Circle, a criminal gang led by the mysterious Overlord. Realizing that Dragon's superhuman powers can be a terrific sway to the police in battling the Vicious Circle, Darling asks Dragon to join the police. At first, the Dragon refuses and takes a job in a warehouse of Darling's cousin. After a number of serious incidents, including the murder of the superhero Mighty Man and the brutal mauling of Super Patriot, Darling takes drastic action. He pays Vicious Circle members to threaten his cousin in the hope that it will prompt Dragon to reconsider his offer. Although this achieves Darling's desired result, the two criminals, that Skullface and Hardware, kill Darling's cousin and detonate a bomb in his warehouse. The Dragon joins the police, but Darling is now under the thumb of the Vicious Circle, causing him to steer the Dragon away from the Vicious Circle's activities. Later, the Dragon gains a girlfriend, Debbie Harris, only to see her shot dead in the head in his apartment by a jealous ex-boyfriend named Arnold Dimple. The Dragon falls into a deep depression as a result. Dimple returns to plague the Dragon on several occasions as the Fiend, who makes a deal with the devil to gain supernatural powers. As well as being kept away from the Vicious Circle activities, the Dragon is loaned out to other police forces across the country to help them in dealing with superpowered criminals. While on loan to the NYPD, he first meets the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who he assists multiple times in later comics. Also during his time in New York, a large prison break occurs and a number of powerful criminals are killed. This is the first time that the Chicago PD loses a star witness against the Overlord. Hardware, who intended to give evidence against the criminal, is shot dead. Though Captain Darling's Freak Force program fails, the Dragon carries on a lasting relationship with one of its former members, Rapture, a former prostitute with electrical powers, who later has his child. Meanwhile, the Overlord's second-in-command, Cyberface, breaks away from the Vicious Circle to form a rival organization. Cyberface is later arrested, but like Hardware before him, he is killed before being able to testify. Ultimately, Cyberface is resurrected and later leads the Vicious Circle under the control of the Horde, another reoccurring villain. Later, the Dragon makes his first attempt to arrest the Overlord, who he easily defeats him and leaves him impaled upon a church spire. The Dragon is believed to be dead, but regenerates from his wounds afterwards. This is not the only time the Dragon is missing and presumed dead. It becomes both a reoccurring theme and a running joke in the series. During his recovery, the Dragon is attacked by a person under the mental control of a strange worm. Under the domination of this creature, the Dragon goes on a rampage during which many innocent bystanders are injured or killed. He is finally stopped by the vigilante Mace, and the worms are traced to the Horde. The rampage results in a massive negative backlash against the Chicago PD department, and as the Dragon's biggest naysayer, R. Richard Richards takes this opportunity to attack the Dragon with a robotic weapon dubbed the Dragon Slayer. Later, the Dragon encounters the She-Dragon, a young superpower woman who models herself after him. Following an attack on the police station and the murder of Cyberface, the Dragon leads a SWAT team to finally take down the Overlord. The battle is harsh, and every member of the SWAT team perishes except for the Dragon, who is skinned alive. Even in his weakened state, the Dragon finally unmasks the Overlord as Mafia boss Antonio Sagetti, who subsequently falls to his death. After aiding the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a second time, the Dragon narrowly survives another attack by the Fiend, which leaves him nearly crippled after his bones heal incorrectly. To make matters worse, Chicago is in the midst of a brutal gang war that arises as a result of the Overlord's death. The Vicious Circle, once kept tightly organized by the Overlord, separate into several factions that battle for criminal supremacy. The Dragon is found by a friendly cabbie and Mighty Man, who uses his super strength to reset the Dragon's bones. After Recuperating from this ordeal, the Dragon fights another prison break, this time a maximum security facility torn open by a newly resurrected Cyberface. This battle marks the end of the gang war, and Cyberface assumes command of the Vicious Circle. This victory is followed by difficult times for the Dragon after a number of crossovers with other Image comic characters including Wildstar and the Max. The Dragon encounters Spawn and ultimately is sent to Hell by the Fiend. The Fiend can possess living bodies, and his powers are fueled by the capacity for hate of those possessed. His last victim is Debbie Harris' mother, who is unaware that the demon possessing her is the spirit of her daughter's murderer. While in Hell, a fistfight occurs between God and the devil. God ends up being victorious, just as the amnesiac Dragon begins to ask him about his origins. God returns him to Earth. Afterwards, things grow steadily worse for the Dragon. He is unable to save ill fellow officer Phil Dirt with a blood transfusion. Meanwhile, Rapture, pregnant with the Dragon's child, suffers internal damage when the baby kicks. The unborn child, having inherited its father's strength and Rapture's, enter premature labor. The Dragon is not able to reach the hospital in time, and the baby appears to have died. However, in the truth, the infant is taken by the Covenant of the Sword, a shadowy organization bent on world takeover. After a crossover with Hellboy, the Dragon is caught up in the Mars Attacks and Mars Attacks Savage Dragon event, in which he is responsible for destroying the Martians, based on Mars using a Martian growth ray. This results in their retreat and possible extinction. While he is gone, the Vicious Circle takes control of the city, returning home to a devastated Chicago. The Dragon is captured and publicly crucified by the Circle. The Dragon survives and defeats most of the villains, but his new superior Captain Mendoza suspends him for having been missing for so long. During his suspension, the Dragon spends a few months as a bounty hunter and helps rebuild the city after the Martian invasion. Now, with that said, I am your comic connoisseur at the campfire, so just go full nerd mode by clicking on like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to be notified when new content has been uploaded. Then you will be crowned an official comic connoisseur. I'm Ra for Elm City Comic Book Collectors, and I'm out. Peace.